they're going to start with something you've already introduced, form. Let's go into depth and really talk about what form is and what the purpose of it is.
I think the biggest thing is an acronym that you can teach a principal immediately within 2 seconds. I can tell you how to ask the right questions. And so people love to talk about their family. So the first thing of form is family. Second is their occupation.
Yep.
Their recreation. Everybody loves to talk about recreation. And then leave a little message or be money motivated. And I think that the key for people is they get flustered in their position because they don't know what the right thing to say. So at first, we don't want you to say anything. We want you to just get us in front of your people. As time goes by, you're going to remember form. We're going to talk about it all the time. But it's the simplest way to teach you a concept of how to master the art of asking the right question. In fact, there are 6 steps within the approach we talk about, but form is the key to everything we're doing, from the interview, from the phone calling you're going to do, from talking to somebody, new prospect, anything. Always use form. Now, form is a universal concept. If you're a salesman in insurance, if you're a salesman in real estate, a lot of these people already use this intuitively. Some of them do it subconsciously, don't even know they're doing it. A lot of people use this. It's a great way to create friendships. If you're a single guy or a single girl, it's a great way to approach men and women, and you keep it simple. So if you want somebody not to hit on you, talk about their family or their husband. You know what I'm saying? So it's a way to keep things plain. It's really an equalizing factor to make you a master of what we're going to talk about. So a lot of experts use this. I'm not, and I didn't invent this. I'm a great copier.
Right.
And what we want you to do is become a good copier of a good copy. So you need to look at it for you. Is this a good enough copy for you to copy to master, build a business? I think as you find it, as you go through the materials, you'll find that there's some brilliance in here. And by the way, it's not all mine. I borrowed this from there and this from there, but I put it together in a package that works. And what I love about it is Chris is totally about this. He gets it, and they're having success already.
Yeah.
It's worked for me and my teams, and we've built teams of tens of thousands of people. Our fastest growth we did in about 9 months, but 45,000 people in an organization. And it gets away from you, but you start this way. And then once you create the base and the foundation, people always come back to it. So I'm excited about that. I've talked about the approach. So let's go through this a little bit.
Well, and I do want to say this, Greg, because I remember when you sat me down and you were teaching this, and you said, "Now, Chris, this is going to come real natural to you, so you may not even know you're doing it." And it's not a technique. It's not a manipulation. This is a way of being. This is a lifestyle. This is how you meet and greet people. And one of the things, Greg, that you taught me, which is really important and that you reminded me of, is that when you're approaching people, no one likes to be sold. Remember, what we're doing is sorting. And so what we're doing is that if I'm brand new and I'm introducing you to my friend Stephen like I just did, then what I'm doing is I'm going to give you an opportunity to make a real warm connection, a real warm relationship, because what they want to do is they want to buy from someone that is a friend. They want to buy from someone that has credibility. And you can have both of those things, but only if you create that relationship using form.
And you're giving me the equity relationship you already have with him. All I'm doing is extending it with form by asking the questions and finding out what he really wants.
Yeah.
It's not about what I want, and this is the problem with most salesmen, is about their agenda. It's not about my agenda. I'm looking for the right people, and I'm going to sort through those. I don't need everybody or want everybody. And so now you're in a position of control and power. You can posture the right way, and I'm there to help you, Chris, to see if this guy's worthy of your time.
And for me, it comes down to, do you have an agenda or do you have an intention?
Correct.
If I got 10 people on my list of 30 that I'm going to approach this week or today, then an agenda would say, I'm going to meet all 10 of those, all 10 will pick up the phone, and I'm going to sell all 10 of them. Listen, friends, newsflash, you do not have the power to control others' destinies.
Nope.
What you can control is the passion that you bring. What you can control is your destiny. So how you shift from an agenda to an intention is that you show up and say, in all the power that I can stand in and all the passion I got, I am going to share with these 10 people what I feel strongly about, and then through the natural sorting process, they'll determine if it's right for them. And that kind of intention not only will serve you the highest, it'll help you make the highest amount of money, because now we're not trying to control other people's life. We've got power because we have an intention, and there's a lot of power with that.
I totally agree with that. In fact, one of the other words I always use is enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Enthusiasm in Latin means God within us.
Yep.
You know, you see somebody excited, what happens? Everybody's going to come around and watch them burn. So the key with you is you want to control that burn so he doesn't burn himself out.
Yep.
Or he gives them too much information and throws up on them. The goal for you as a leader is to empower the person, encase them in kind of a protective aura so they contain their warm market. And that's what we're doing here. So their intention can get the attention to make them successful. And what I look at is that people want to be successful, but they want to copy somebody successful. If I were to say to you, who do you want to go talk to about computers, or if anybody in the world you can interview with for 2 hours about what they did in computers, it'd probably be two people he'd mention. Who would it be? Steve Jobs and Bill Gates,
That's
right?
the only two people that come to my
and
mind.
If it came to a famous star that played golf, you'd love to spend an hour with, the name that comes up all the time would be probably two names. First one, the new one, would be Tiger Woods. The old would be Jack Nicholson, right?
Yeah.
You pretty much can go through history and say that. What's interesting, folks, is you don't know that Chris is one of those people. And at 33 years old, what he's done is he's changed the face of real estate in America. And it's an honor to be here with him. And what I'm excited about is bringing this to all of you that will utilize this system, because this system will give you a success boost. It'll put you on steroids about sales and marketing. We're not selling, Chris will say it, I'll say it, you're sorting for the right people. Am I correct, Chris?
You absolutely are. Greg, I'll tell you, one of the things that I love about Forum is that it's not just tell me about your family, tell me about your occupation, and then tell me what you do for fun, and then I'm going to share my message. What I'm doing is I'm actually looking for where I can relate. And you showed this. You're looking for that connection. So when you say, tell me about your family, how does that compare to my family? Well, all of a sudden, we're breaking down the barriers, we're breaking the ice, and we're creating a real, genuine friendship, because a good friendship is one that begins with people that care about each other. So what I love here is you don't use this as a manipulation just so you can get to somebody. Instead, it's the other way around. Love people.
Absolutely.
Be a servant. Find the right people that you can bless with your message, and let other people find you that they can bless with their message.
Let's give you an analogy what happened recently. I have a friend of mine. I have 6 daughters. I always laugh about it. I always tell everybody I have a PhD in PMS, and they laugh, you know. So I met a guy recently who has 7 daughters.
Are you serious?
And he got in business. We related over that term. And last month, Chris, you were in Seattle. You sold a PSA to him, and his first PSA, he made how much?
$3,000.
$3,000.
Right.
So now I tell him he has a double PhD in PMS. So we laugh about it. So you got to find a common ground to link them in. And you're not selling, you're sorting. You're looking for the right type of people that match with your personality, or the field leader, or somebody you can relate with. And that's your job, is to get them the biggest bonus you can get. And so I really love this whole process and teaching approach, because it's not what you think it is. It's a different. It's what I call a quinky dink.
It's a quinky dink.
You got to find a quinky dink.
Yep.
Place to relate with somebody. But what I like about it is, if you learned how to master just the approach to invite and expose, you've got most of the business down.
Now let's talk about Forum, because one of the things that you like to highlight, Greg, is that there are 6 specific skills with mastering Forum. There are 6 things that you want to be able to do really well that's going to take your Forum to an all-new level. And the very first one is you got to have genuine interest. You can't, You can't fake that.
No.
And if you fake it, people will know it, they can smell it, and you're not doing business the right way. So you got to actually be genuinely interested in other people's lives.
And here's the thing: some people say, "Well, I don't know if I can do that." Well, let me tell you something. If you practice for 100 times, could you do it?
Absolutely.
Yes. So I practice more than 100 times. It is part of me. It's becoming part of me. It is my life. So I do love people, and I take genuine interest in other people. And the thing is, when you do that, they can see it, they read through it. Okay. The other part is you understand the art of asking the right question. God gave you how many ears?
2.
And how many mouths?
This one.
And what's that mouth for usually? Asking the right questions and listening.
Well, that's what we just did in the interview.
We did.
You actually didn't do anything, but you played director like we talked about. You directed them to ask and answer. It's almost like they're having a brilliant conversation with themselves. So I really like that. That's really important.
But it's really kind of funny. If men would do this on dates more and not talk about themselves, I'd say
different results.
Different results.
Yeah.
Why is it funny? We keep doing the same thing all our life, and all we have to do is step outside the box, go across because the door's right there, but they don't get it. And so our goal is to have you get it quickly and transfer it to you immediately with acronyms and easy things you can remember.
Yeah. Here's another one of the 6 that I really like. Smile. In fact, there you go. Napoleon Hill. One of the things that Napoleon Hill does is he actually talks about a pleasing personality, and he says, how do people know if you're a smile? Be friendly, be outgoing. And smiling is a really important part of, how are you supposed to make friends with someone like, hi, tell me about your family. My name's Chris. I mean, it's just not going to...
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work at all. So you want to have a pleasing personality if you're going to be networking and trying to get connected to a huge new family that you can move in this crusade forward towards rebuilding America, because you're going to create that rebuilding growth one family at a time. You've got to be interested in that one family. You've got to want to help serve that one family. So smile.
I agree.
Give them a shot at you as a stranger to make a friend right there.
It takes more muscles to frown than it is to smile. In fact, I don't even know how to frown.
It's kind of hard. Well, it's hard for you to do.
It's easier to smile, yeah. I got a permanent smile built in sometimes. It's kind of like, well, there we go. So do you. But here's the thing. Everybody wants to be around somebody who's happy.
Yeah.
You have enough depressing people in your life. You don't want to be around people that are negative or
right.
stinking thinking. And usually this person has a smile. They can't go, I'm negative. It doesn't work.
You can't do it. You can't. It's
I'm
actually
happy.
part of that reprogramming.
It is
Actually, that
reprogramming.
we talk about personal development and reprogramming, and why am I doing my 6 steps to gold and my financial goals? Well, it's all about saying those mantras over and over again, and it's about ingraining them. Here's another one on the 6 skills of mastering form. Remember their name.
Oh, you know how important that is? It's the most important sound in any language is their name.
Yeah.
Chris. And when Chris is...
In fact, wait, let's do that again.
Chris.
I just feel better when I... One more time.
Chris.
Okay, I feel great.
And if you do it 7 or 8 times in the presentation, you know what's really odd is when somebody's talking to you and they go, yeah, what was your name? Or
it's awkward.
Yeah, so-and-so. It's very awkward.
Yeah, they want to talk to you the way a friend talks, so
Correct.
talk to them the way a friend would talk to them. Call them by their name, not just because it's something that they're going to respond to, but it's because they know, well, that you must care. Because it takes a little bit of extra RAM up here to remember their name, and
pay
then
attention.
Pay attention, start using their name.
In fact, a lot of women, again, if guys were dating, they could remember their name, they'd be a lot happier.
Right. I got to tell you a really funny story. My wife has a really, her name's Colleen, and she spells it in a way, and I couldn't pronounce it. I was like, is it Colleen, Colleen? So for 5 days, I'm dating this girl, and I did not say her name, and finally she gets mad. People will do this. They'll get mad. She got mad. She turned me. She said, it's Colleen. Say it right now. Colleen. I have a brother named Ben. It rhymes with Ben. Colleen. Ben. Colleen. And she did this until I finally got it. And then once I could use her name, she was happy again.
And you married her.
And then I married her.
Pretty good success.
That's a pretty good.
If you haven't remembered her name, you probably would be married today.
That's true.
Okay.
That's very
so
true.
that's really, really important. Their name is so important. And then the next one we talk about.
Yeah, you got to listen.
You got to listen. And that's where most people fail.
Yeah.
They don't listen because they're actually always trying to figure out what they're going to say next to get an edge in the conversation.
Yeah, they're actually thinking the whole time about when do I go, when do I insert, when do I finally get about me? And it's like, you don't get it. If you've got a true, genuine, that's number one, genuine. If you've got a genuine relationship with someone and they can feel and know that you care, then great. Then we can get to a cool space where we get to find out if eventually if my products and services can actually benefit your life or if they won't. Either way, you gain a friend, and that's gaining something.
Well, again, I have 6 daughters, so I've learned how to listen. If you don't listen, they whack you inside the head from the dad. But here's the thing about it. It's really important that if men understood if they just listen to women, they'd get along a lot better.
Yeah.
Men turn women off. And it's a lot of women get frustrated with this. So do other people. If you're not listening to the conversation and getting it and responding properly, they're going to turn you off and use this flaw to potential recruit. And what you're really doing is hurting your team and your field leader or your new prospect. So you have to be the best you can be. You have to hone your skills, and you have to know what to do. The problem in most people in sales or marketing or anything along that line is they don't even know what they have to do. They're what they call consciously competent or subconsciously competent. Most of them are at the same time. They subconsciously know what they're doing, but they don't know how to teach it. When you become a teacher or trainer, you subconsciously already have it ingrained in you, and you can auditorially explain it, teach it, and you can talk about it. And the more you teach it, the better you get at it.
Absolutely.
So the goal is we've taken these 6 simple steps and approach. There's more behind that to get you to understand that it's all about your smile, becoming genuinely interested, listening to people, remembering their name. You do it sincerely, and you do it often.
Yeah.
Those are the other ones here.
Focus on their interests, do it sincerely, do it often. If you find at the end of the day, what does this really add up to? Really is caring about other people, being interested in other people.
Absolutely.
And when you're talking about their family and their occupation, their recreation, you can build a relationship. And if you have a relationship, if you have a new friendship formed there, then the time's going to come where you can now share information. But this is where it gets a little bit dangerous, because now what we want to do is we want to talk about mastering the information control valve. Okay, because you've got the control valve on all this information, and I'm a brand new IBD. I'm like, oh my gosh, this company's so big, and I'm drinking from the fire hydrant. I attended the training, and I listened to the deal, and I read this, and I went online. I went to my IRC, and all of a sudden, if I'm trying to go it alone, I'm going to approach my friend Greg and say, oh, Greg, so real estate CMA's in the market, 60,000 minus 40, good timing, Vegas. And he's just sitting there, and if you want to know the very best way to burn a prospect, it's simple. Number one, be enthusiastic. Was I just enthusiastic?
You were.
Okay, number two, I'm going to create curiosity. If I'm enthusiastic, you're going to be curious about, God, why is
Those 2 are good.
Yeah, but then I get to number 3. They start asking questions, and because I am just diarrheaing all of the fact in sign language.
Throwing up on them.